Right now, there's a growing feeling around NASCAR that the Cleetus McFarland story is becoming much bigger than anyone expected. Over the last few days, NASCAR officials, Richard Childress Racing, and even people inside the garage have all been focused on one thing: his upcoming race at Nashville. And after the latest updates, many fans now believe this race could completely change his NASCAR future. What makes this situation so interesting is that this is no longer being treated like a simple celebrity appearance. According to multiple reports, the partnership between Cleetus McFarland and Richard Childress Racing is part of a real long-term development plan that could continue through 2027. Once details about the deal started spreading online, reactions exploded everywhere. Some fans believe Cleetus has already earned bigger opportunities. Others still think NASCAR should slow things down. But one thing is becoming impossible to ignore: NASCAR is taking this Nashville race very seriously, and depending on what happens there, his future inside the sport could change completely. Today, we need to talk about why Nashville has suddenly become one of the biggest races of Cleetus McFarland's career, why Richard Childress Racing appears, fully invested in him long-term, why NASCAR executives are reportedly using this race as a major evaluation point, and why some insiders believe Nashville could open the door to much bigger opportunities. And honestly, some of the reactions from fans and people inside racing have been unbelievable. So stay with me until the end, because the final part of this story may completely change how people look at Cleetus McFarland in NASCAR moving forward. For years, most fans knew Cleetus McFarland as one of the biggest automotive creators on YouTube. Burnouts, muscle cars, racing videos, and huge events helped him build millions of loyal followers. Events like the Freedom 500 became massive attractions on their own. But now, the conversation around him is changing fast. Cleetus is slowly moving from internet personality into a legitimate NASCAR development story. And that shift has created a lot of debate among NASCAR followers. Because this is no longer only about YouTube views or social media numbers. People are now paying attention to his actual racing progress. And honestly, the improvement has been noticeable. Back in 2025, his ARCA debut at Daytona went badly. He struggled throughout the race, and critics immediately questioned whether he belonged in stock car racing. Some people believe NASCAR only cared about the audience he could bring. Others assumed the experiment would end quickly. But instead of stepping away, Cleetus kept racing and continued gaining experience. That persistence is one of the biggest reasons people inside NASCAR are starting to take him more seriously now. When the 2026 season started, the difference looked obvious. At Daytona in ARCA, he was much more competitive. Then came Rockingham in ARCA East, where he earned an impressive fourth-place finish. But the race that truly changed the conversation was Talladega. Cleetus McFarland finished second in the ARCA race there, and suddenly even some doubters started paying attention. Fans could clearly see the improvement. People inside racing began talking differently about him, and the confidence around his future immediately grew. After the race, Cleetus even described it as the most fun he had ever had with his clothes on. That Talladega performance may have played a huge role in what happened next, because shortly afterward, Richard Childress Racing made a major announcement. Cleetus McFarland would drive the number 33 Chevrolet at Nashville Superspeedway. And this is where the story became much bigger than most people expected. Reports now suggest this is not just a one-race opportunity. The agreement reportedly includes multiple O'Reilly Auto Parts Series races each year through 2027. That completely changed the way many fans viewed this situation. Suddenly, this wasn't just a content creator getting a fun NASCAR moment. This looked like a serious investment from one of the most respected organizations in the sport. And remember, this is Richard Childress Racing, the same team where Dale Earnhardt won 6 championships. That history carries weight. which is why people were shocked to see RCR commit this strongly to Cleetus McFarland's future. Even Kevin Harvick reportedly reacted with surprise when he heard about the deal. According to reports, his reaction was simply, "What?" And honestly, that probably matched the reaction of many NASCAR fans, because very few people expected Cleetus to move this quickly into bigger NASCAR opportunities. But then another major controversy changed the conversation again. After his strong Talladega ARCA run, many fans believed NASCAR would approve him for the Talladega O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race. At first, approval seemed possible. Then NASCAR reportedly pulled back from the decision. That immediately created backlash online. Supporters argued he had already shown enough progress. Critics believed NASCAR was right to remain cautious about Superspeedway racing. And suddenly, the fan base became divided again. Some accused NASCAR of being inconsistent. Others defended the decision as a safety issue. But what stood out most was Cleetus's reaction. Instead of complaining publicly or creating drama, he stayed calm. He admitted there were still areas where he needed more experience. Then he shifted his full focus toward Nashville. That response earned respect from many people inside racing. Because NASCAR is not only evaluating speed and results, they also pay attention to maturity, attitude, and how drivers handle pressure. And now, Nashville has quietly become one of the biggest evaluation races of his career. According to reports, NASCAR executives are watching this event extremely closely because it may determine what opportunities become available next. That's the part many fans are now realizing. A strong and disciplined performance at Nashville could help Cleetus gain approval for larger tracks and bigger NASCAR races moving forward. That is why some insiders reportedly described Nashville as the race that could unlock everything. And honestly, that statement alone shows how serious this situation has become. Because NASCAR clearly understands the value Cleetus brings. He already has millions of younger automotive fans following him. That audience is incredibly important for the future of the sport. NASCAR has spent years trying to attract younger viewers and new energy. Cleetus naturally brings both. But NASCAR also knows popularity alone cannot guarantee opportunities. They still want proof that he can consistently handle higher-level competition. That's why Nashville matters so much. This race is about proving whether his development is truly real. Several insiders have reportedly praised how quickly he has adapted to stock cars. Others have pointed toward his car control and racing instincts as major strengths. Richard Childress himself reportedly praised Cleetus's passion and called the partnership a dream opportunity. Reports also say Richard Childress could even participate in one of Cleetus McFarland's Crown Vic races in 2026, showing how strong this partnership is becoming. And honestly, many fans are starting to realize this may only be the beginning. Cleetus McFarland has made it very clear what his ultimate NASCAR goal is. He wants to race in the Daytona 500 someday. And whether fans support him or still doubt him, Nashville could become one of the biggest moments in deciding how realistic that dream truly is. The pressure surrounding this race is enormous. If things go badly, critics will become louder than ever. But if he delivers a strong performance, the entire NASCAR conversation around Cleetus McFarland could change again very quickly. And that is exactly why so many people are suddenly paying attention to Nashville. Because this is no longer just about a YouTuber entering a race for attention. This is starting to look like NASCAR testing whether one of the internet's biggest automotive personalities can genuinely develop into a serious future driver inside the sport. And after everything that has happened over the past several months, Nashville may finally give everyone the answer.